All right, YouTube. Prediction markets seem to be the next hottest thing on Cardano, with many people asking me what I think about Bodega. Bodega is this chart you see right here in front of you. It is a new betting and prediction market on Cardano. And of course, they have a token. So now, is Bodega going to be the next 100x gem that is on Cardano? And I want to give you a bunch of rundown on this token as quickly as possible. What are the fundamentals? What are the tokenomics? What is this chart showing us? And should you buy this, or under what circumstances is this a good thing to buy? I think Bodega is going to be in kind of this group of tokens called emerging markets that I think is like Bodega, Strike, Dedi. All of these are going to be interesting buys for those who buy them. And I think at a certain price, these become really good opportunities. But I want to just lay out the fundamentals of what these projects are, what Bodega is, and what it is trying to do if you're interested in investing into it now. Also, before we go too much further into this video, if you want to know how I analyze these projects on a more deeper level, in the description of this video is the Crypto 100x Blueprint. It is my exact 7 strategy protocol for 100xing my Cardano portfolio this cycle. With that, we're also getting a website with all my newsletters set up, so then you'll be able to read in even more depth about the 7 steps to make yourself have a better potential return here in 2025. So the first thing that we want to do actually is dive into the fundamentals. I believe fundamentals are the most important thing, and we got to figure out what in the world is Bodega? What is it trying to do? And the easiest way to do that is just go to the website, and you can easily see what they're trying to do. They're trying to be a prediction market. You can see right here, a new prediction market, providing a unique platform where you can speculate on the outcomes of real-world events, leveraging security, scalability, and all of that Cardano can offer, right? So they want to be secure by having a decentralized platform where you can bet, and not kind of like bet into the world of DraftKings or in all these other things where it's centralized companies behind the scenes. They want to use smart contracts and allow you to bet on real-world events with their new approach, right? With decentralized finance. So you have a couple options here. You can explore different markets that they have available on the platform. You can place your bets, right? Use USDM or other. Maybe they have ADA. I would assume that they have ADA betting. I think that's what they did on their beta test. So I think they're going to have USDM and maybe some other tokens to bet on. You can monitor and adjust your positions, which I guess is nice if you want to adjust or bet more. Kind of like when you're at certain gambling tables, they let you keep putting bets down until they say no more. And then you can win. Obviously, somebody's going to win every market bet. So it's pretty simple. I mean, they have a simple roadmap. Where are we today here? We are right here, January 2025. So they kind of say that they're full mainnet. Yeah, they say January 2025 is their full mainnet on the roadmap on the website. And then on the light paper, it says that 2024 is the mainnet release, and 2025 Q1 is the governance launch. So we see with new projects, things get pushed back. It's the software development lifecycle. It's not a huge deal. But I think one thing to note is that it says January, but I've seen other places where they say Q1 2025 is their mainnet. So I would look around January, February, March, somewhere in there is going to be the Q1 mainnet release, where you can actually, everyone can start, making markets and putting bets on things out in the world. And then these are the 2 team members, Monroe and Jugan. I haven't done much research on them. You can do research if you'd like. And then the Strike founder is going to be their advisor. I always think, just a personal side note, I always think it's a little bit interesting, I would say. I think it's interesting when you have these other founders that are kind of new, having new projects, allocating some of their time to other projects. I would much rather see a founder or like an advisor that is solely focused on one job that they're doing. So like this Strike founder, in my opinion, should not be advising other companies. This Strike founder should be solely focused on building Strike. And Bodega should not be bringing in the Strike founder as an advisor. They should assume that the Strike founder has too much work building Strike, and that they should have a different advisor from somewhere else of either a more well-established product. Like Strike is a pretty new project. I would much rather see Bodega bring in an advisor that has a lot more credibility, like a MinSwap advisor or someone who's been around for a couple years, or somebody totally different that doesn't have a project but is still well versed in Cardano business or Cardano smart contracts or all these things. So I don't necessarily agree with having the Strike founder as an advisor for those couple of reasons. So that's just their little website. And this website, basically, you can come in here. I highly suggest coming to read the documentation. Documentation is like one of the best places to go to learn more about absolutely everything on a project. I still think that they need to kind of build this out a little bit more, but you can see right here, yeah, Q1 2025 is their mainnet version 2, and then Q1 2025, or basically for the rest of 2025, is feature expansion, privacy, adding in more things, adding in more markets, adding in more functionality, which is what everyone wants. So that's basically all the fundamentals. What you need to know about Bodega, right? Here's the actual platform. What's interesting about this product is that there is no competition in the Cardano space. So there's no real prediction markets of this size and of this caliber trying to tackling what Bodega is trying to tackle. So if Bodega tackles it with a mainnet that works well and has good functionality, they will be the largest and most dominant prediction market player on Cardano. And I know Cardano has some casinos here and there, but this isn't really the same thing. This is like DraftKings, right? Where you are coming in and you are betting on games, or you're betting on outcomes, or you're betting on real world activity, or what the price of something is before X date. Those casinos don't necessarily have all of this built in with staking, with revenue sharing, with Bitcoin integrations or USDM integrations or all these other things. And so this is a much more professional version of some of the other casinos that we have on Cardano. This would be the leading primary market share with a moat around it, around this business, for prediction markets or gambling on Cardano. So that functionally, that is one of the best things going for Bodega, is that they have the first mover advantage with the scale and size and kind of features that they're trying to implement. Now, the fundamentals are good in that sense, right? They have really all the things that you would want to do. Like, you can come in here, you can see they have the Lakers versus the Warriors, they have SMU versus Penn, they have the Tyson fight, right? Tyson Fury. You can see all these different things, that who will have the highest trading volume before December 17th. And so you can choose either chat or you can choose beta, right? These are meme coins on Cardano, and people are just gambling on it, right? You can see up here, one of the things people were gambling on is the SNEC price all-time high. SNEC reaches all-time high ADA market cap before Christmas. And so is it over or is it under? And you can come in here and you can place your bet. This is something people are willing to bet on. And so this is the market that Bodega is trying to serve. And I think we've seen with modern sports betting and sports gambling and things like Strike, where these big Twitch streamers are getting on Strike or Stake, whatever it's called, like Stake, I think, and they're doing a lot of these duck crab walk games, and they're betting on all these things. There is a market for people and wanting to come out here and bet their money on football games or on gambling or on the outcome of meme coins. And so there is a market that Bodega is going to be able to fill. I would personally be a little hesitant on the fundamentals until they get the mainnet out and they prove that people want to use this. That's always something I want to see before investing. But the fundamentals are there, right? The product has all the things that people want, and it would be the most dominant in the market. That is always a good thing. Now, the next thing after fundamentals that we want to look at, which I think fundamentals are still in development, right? They're still working on the product, and that's where the fundamentals come from. Also, fundamentals, in my opinion, is a function of time. So, like, you can do really well in your first year, and then the next 5 years are absolutely horrible. Or you can do horrible in your first year, and then the next 5 years are absolutely amazing. And so I think you need a lot more data in order to accurately understand the fundamentals, which is hard to do when Bodega has been around for like a month or two, right? It's a very new project. And so it's not really fair to say like it's a good fundamental or it's a bad fundamental. It's more like this project needs 2 or 3 years to work out every single kink it's going to run into, and then you can give it an accurate assessment. And so it's a constant battle. So if you're looking at this project now, the fundamentals today, I say, are like 50-50. But over time, that will change. So if you want to invest in that, you have to recognize that and look into those things. Okay. Now, the next most important thing is tokenomics. Like, what is with this Bodega token that you're going to buy? Like, if you're interested in this chart and you're going to go buy Bodega, you need to know about the tokenomics and kind of what you're getting yourself into. Okay. So Bodega has one really great, amazing thing for it. In tokenomics, I like to look at utility, token distribution, and then the circulating supply. So the first thing we'll look at is utility. Bodega has amazing utility. It actually really does have really good utility. The best part is going to be the staking and revenue sharing. You can see that this, so on all markets, so like this right here, each one of these is a market. This is a market, this is a market, this is a market, this is a market. These are all markets. Every single bet that you can make is its own decentralized market. And so the platform will charge a flat 2% fee in ADA for all bets. So if you want to go in and you want to make a bet on this Ravens versus Titan game, they're going to charge you a 2% fee. Then half of the fee is going to go towards the Bodega stakers. So if you own Bodega and then you come in here and you come up here to the top and you go to the staking portal and you stake your Bodega, then you are going to gain half of the fees. You're going to have a fractional ownership of half of the fees on the platform. And so, obviously if you own all the Bodega tokens, then you own half the fees on the whole platform. If you own a percentage, right, then you own a percentage of half of all the fees on the Bodega platform. But the big thing here is that if you own Bodega, you get your share of half of the fees. The fees are split between the protocol and then the stakers, which is very, very good. Second, the next big piece of utility is market creation. So if you have, right down here, 50,000 Bodega tokens, if you have 50,000 Bodega, then you have the ability to create a market. So for example, right, this Ravens versus Titans game right here is one market. So if I have 50,000 Bodega tokens, I can open that Ravens versus Titans market. Now, and then from there, if I open that market, I can charge, right? It says the creator of these markets will be able to set and earn fees. So I can charge whatever fee I want on that market. Now, obviously, if you charge too high of a fee, nobody's going to bet in your market, right? But if you charge a low enough fee, it might incentivize people. And they kind of right here recommend a 2% ADA fee. And so if you have 50,000 Bodega, you have the ability to create a market, right? Once mainnet goes into effect. You obviously can't do it right now. But once mainnet goes into effect, you have the ability to create a market. So if you're interested in that, that's what the utility of the token is. Also, you have governance on the Bodega platform. Now, real quick, I want to just see at the current price. Let's see the USD price of Bodega. The current price is 20 cents. I can't do that math in my head. Hold on one second. So 50,000 times 0.21. You need about $10,500 or about $10,000 to $11,000 in order to be a market maker on Bodega currently, if you were to buy today. So that's just where we are with that. At today's price, you need about $10,000 to buy enough Bodega to be one of those market makers. Okay, so we got the utility of the token. In my opinion, 10 out of 10, really good utility and a good reason for people to buy your token. The next thing is obviously the distribution. Like, who is getting these tokens? The best thing about Bodega, it has a 25 million Bodega token supply, looks to be a capped supply, and I think like 90% of these tokens are already out in circulation. You can come over here to Tap Tools and you can see that right here, circulating supply and total supply, 24 out of the 25 million already in circulating supply. So that's really good in my opinion. That's exactly what you want. Majority of the tokens are going to the public, 70%. This is tier 1. This is a 10 out of 10 for me. I love it when projects prioritize the public, because the public is what is going to make your project work, right? So the public is here and the public is going to be the ones controlling the markets. That's what you want. You don't want the Bodega team controlling all of the markets, making all the fees and getting richer and richer and richer. You want decentralized people owning different markets and controlling that platform. So that's a great thing with the public sale. The team obviously deserves their own money. They deserve props. They're going to get 13%. They're going to have 12% for some liquidity. I don't know. That's probably on other dexes like MinSwap and seeding some liquidity. And then the DAO is going to have some money so people, stakers can vote and do whatever they want. But the total public allocation is 87%, which is absolutely beautiful. And then the emissions, as we just talked about, this is kind of what they're doing for emissions. 82% of the tokens are in circulation from 70% of the public and 12% of the liquidity allocations. The team allocation will be fully unlocked after 30 months. So that's about 2 years. That's a really good kind of vesting schedule for them to kind of be around for at least a little over 2 years. And then the circulating supply is obviously, as we saw, is about 95%. So tokenomics are actually very, very good. Lots of utility. The public is in control of a lot of the tokens, and then the supply is out there. So no big liquidity dumps. After the tokenomics, right, we looked at the fundamentals. Really solid product. We just needed to get on mainnet. We need to learn more about it. We need to see how people use it or if people use it, right? I'm not 100% convinced that people are going to be willing to part with their ADA or part with their USDM on a Cardano betting platform. They probably will, but I don't know how many people. That's the big question. Maybe in the bull run, it'll just hype up a ton and people will use it a lot. But in the bear market, I doubt. I assume in the bear market, like usage drops way off, okay, which is a little bit of a concern, right? It's not like a DEX or a lending platform where people will want to do it as much in a bear market, I think. But after we look at the fundamentals, right, the tokenomics were really good. Lots of revenue, lots of staking, lots of use case there. The last thing I want to look at is the chart. And the reason that the chart is last is because you should kind of have an idea about a project before you ever look at its price, right? You want to know if it's a good project or a good idea or something usable today or like all these things before you get into charts and price. And then when you get in charts and price, you have a better understanding of this, the whole circle of the ecosystem going on. And so here, when we're getting into charts, the first big thing I want to talk about with charts is as we move into a bull market, you're going to see a lot of new projects coming out. And there's this very famous quote from Benjamin Graham and Warren Buffett in their book, in this book called The Intelligent Investor. And it's that in a bull market, you see an uptick in IPOs of companies. And it's because people are willing to get speculative and risk their money when times are good. So as we move into 2025 in this bull market, if you see more new tokens popping up or new ICOs or new offers or new pre-sales, you and me as intelligent investors should be more cautious and should be more cautious putting money into these new projects. And the reason is that Benjamin Graham in his book, The Intelligent Investor, says that typically within a couple months or a couple years, these projects are retracing back to their initial valuations, right? So people rode the wave all the way up and then they rode the wave all the way down. And now you can invest into a product at basically its initial price, but it now has 3 years of data or 2 years of data or 10 months of data. And it's gone through that hype, that pump and dump cycle, and now it could arguably be a much better investment. And so the big thing the reason I'm saying that is I think that can be going on with Bodega here today. Obviously, when these tokens come live, people buy them up and they go straight up and they make this great new price against ADA for Bodega, it's 0.355 ADA. Now what we are seeing is the typical retracement that we see every single time this happens, right? Bodega is coming down, and I would not be surprised to see it come down all the way here to about 0.12 ADA, right? This line right here. This would not surprise me at all. Okay. Another thing that would not surprise me is the fact that, this 786 line here at 0.11 ADA, it would not surprise me to see Bodega get down to that level. Maybe it only gets down here to 0.17. But the whole theory, the whole idea here is that tokens release, people in the bull market pump them up for like no reason, right? There's no reason to pump this up because it's not a real product yet, right? It's not earning revenue, right? So people are just getting speculative. And so in this time period, I think with this chart that Bodega is going to keep coming down, and somewhere down here, it can be a much better buy than it is today. Now, looking at this chart, I have no idea where the top is. I have no idea where the bottom is, right? It's impossible to tell with these products. Currently, the whole project is sitting at around a $5 million market cap. And so if you're looking at 100x a token, these lower market cap tokens have more potential to grow more because of how small market cap they are. Now, there's caveats, there's this and that, but the whole idea here is that you should not rush to jump into projects like this that are new because we need more data, we need more time. These things retrace a ton, and it's just kind of like you don't want to get caught in the middle out here doing nothing. But to recap like this video, I know I kind of got off track there, is the fundamentals are good if they can pull off the product and be the most dominant in the market, which they have a lot of potential to do because there's not a ton of prediction projects in Cardano, okay? People are showing with like the whole way that the new world is going, a lot of people want to gamble on stuff. I don't know why, but I assume that they're going to gamble on Cardano because of this. Second, the tokenomics are really awesome. If you have $10,000, you can become a market maker by buying 50,000 Bodega, which could earn you some good fees if a lot of people are using this protocol in a bull market. Also, there's a lot of revenue sharing and staking, and the tokenomics are really healthy for retail investors. So you're protected in that sense. Lastly, the chart, I definitely think this has room to come down, and that's typically what happens with these new projects. They go up, they come down. I mean, like, look at Dedi, right? This is the same scenario. It comes up and it comes down, right? Hunt was the same way. It comes up and it comes down. IAG, I mean, I don't really remember the beginning of it, but yeah, not really the same. NVL is currently working through this scenario where it went up and now it's kind of coming down, right? And so we see this so often where these projects release and like they come down and then you can buy at a much more favorable level. And so, in my opinion, I think people will buy this and they will make money, but you could wait a little bit probably and get a better entry point. I don't think you should time the bottom because we have no idea where the bottom is, but the as price comes down, the risk that you're taking decreases for the amount of reward that you can have. Do I think this can 100x up to about a $500 million market cap? Personally, I would say no. Maybe like a $1 to $300 million market cap, maybe at the peak of the bull run, right? It's just I think like the best projects are going to be like $1 to $5 billion on Cardano, and then like the next layer is going to be a couple hundred million, and then the next layer is going to be like 50 million for market cap. And so for this project, we really have no idea. I don't know if it's going to 100x. I think at some point in the cycle, people will move into projects like this and Strike and Dedi, kind of the emerging markets trends, and you might have a better opportunity at growing your portfolio. But the big thing I would look for is just waiting, having patience, letting this thing kind of come down a little bit. I think that you really want to invest in projects that you can see on like a 3-day, right? See, there's no data on the 3-day or a weekly chart. And obviously, there's no 3-day or weekly data on this chart. There's barely any daily data. So, in my opinion, projects like this, you want to let them get more data and kind of get out there a little bit and go through the ups and downs of new products before you make a big investment. Personally, I will not be buying Bodega at this time for the reasons I listed. I think obviously I like to let these things kind of work the kinks out, and I think price will come down based on what we typically see in these kind of early stages of these projects when we're not in like the peak of the bull market yet. And so maybe down here it could be a good investment, right? Like I just started looking at Dedi again because it has come down to about 0.06 ADA. And my big question I just posted on Twitter is this a double bottom, right? If this is a double bottom for Dedi while the RSI is kind of moving up like this could be a great time to build a position, right? Not a huge position, right? I think Dedi is a very emerging market project. And it's just like, the reason I say this is that every project is a good investment at the right price. And so Dedi, if it double bottoms here, could be a good investment. I think the same thing you can look out for in Bodega is where does it find that bottom? Where is it kind of settling in price? Where does all this hype kind of fade and it becomes undervalued? That's where I would look to buy if you wanted to buy. Currently, I'm not buying. Maybe if it gets down here and they go into mainnet and they do a lot of great things, then maybe I buy. But right now, it's a no buy for me simply because I don't know how many people want to get into betting on Cardano. I personally don't like betting that much, and I would never use my ADA or my USDM to bet on a platform like this. But I do see the reality that people will want to use it. I think this project will need a further analysis down the road. And so maybe we can do a version 2 of this when more information comes out and as it grows and as it releases mainnet and as people start getting to use the markets on Cardano. I think in the bull run, this will have a lot of hype around it. People will want to bet and kind of do that degen type gambling stuff. But right now, it's still kind of just working it out. And I would just, in my opinion, I'm going to be a little patient and wait to see what happens down here. All right. So I like to have, less projects in my portfolio. This is what I think about Bodega. If you haven't gotten the Crypto 100X blueprint in the description to kind of understand why I'm talking about things this way and why I look at this way, go ahead and download it now. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment if you want me to view any other tokens on Cardano, or if you have an opinion on Bodega and think that this is the best project ever to come out of Cardano, let us know. We'd love to hear. Other than that, we will definitely see you in the next video.